Hey everyone, it's Matt Donaghue with Mission Financial Planners. This is your weekly market update. We have a lot to cover today, from encouraging economic signs to warning lights on the consumer dashboard, plus some critical tax and retirement planning insights that can help you avoid some costly mistakes. So let's jump into it. Let's start with the economy. We'll start with the macro view. In May, the U.S. economy showed some solid footing. The composite PMI, which blends the services and manufacturing sectors, came in at 52.3, which is comfortably within expansion territory. But that good news came with a dose of economic gravity. On May 5th, the U.S. Department of Education resumed collections on defaulted federal student loans, and the impact has been immediate. Student loan delinquencies jumped from just under 1% to over 8% in just one quarter. Out of 42 million borrowers, nearly 5 million are in debt, and another 4 million are seriously delinquent. That's nearly 1 in 4 loans now in trouble. Here's why that matters. Starting this summer, wage garnishments will begin. Monthly payments on student loans are expected to cut consumer spending by anywhere from 3.1 billion to 8.5 billion a month. Yes, the consumer here in the US is still very resilient. Spending grew by 1.2% in Q1. Wages are still beating inflation and unemployment remains low, but the pressure's mounting. What happens when those student loan payments collide with tighter credit and higher rates? That's why we're focusing our clients on quality companies that serve price sensitive consumers and diversifying into assets that perform well in recessionary environments. Let's talk taxes. Now let's just pivot specifically to penalties, since we're kind of talking about penalties today. The IRS hits late filers with two penalties, one for failing to file and the other is for failing to pay. Failing the filing penalty, the failure to file penalty, that is kind of brutal. It's 5% per month up to 25%. If you're more than 60 days late, the minimum charge is either $135 or the full amount owed, and the payment penalty adds another 0.5% per month. But here's the good news. If you've been compliant for the last 3 years, you may qualify for a first-time abatement. It's not automatic. You do have to request it, usually by sending in a formal letter. But don't forget, your state might also have a program like that. So double check with your state if you're looking for something like that. But as always, talk with a tax professional before you write a check. Um, Let's wrap up with just a few retirement reminders, specifically around IRAs. Contribution limits for 25 are out there, so make sure you understand what those are. If you haven't seen those lately, just make sure you get a hold of us, because we can send out our our key data card that we send out every year. But if your income's too high, you just might not be eligible for things like Roth contributions. So for example, if you're married filing jointly and your income's over about 250,000, you're out. Could you do a backdoor Roth conversion? Contribute, don't get the tax deduction, and then transfer it into a Roth? You bet you could. So make sure you talk with us about that. Also, don't forget your IRA contributions are tied to your earned income. If you didn't have any earned income, you can't contribute. What if you need a mistake? You need to correct it before your tax deadline. Otherwise, you might face a 6% penalty every year that the excess contribution sits in there. If you're making non-deductible contributions, make sure you file Form 8606. If you don't, you could get taxed twice when you withdraw later. It's a small form that can save a lot of headaches. Let's close with a little bit of perspective. So Marcus Aurelius said that joy lies in proper human work, in being aligned with our purpose. Well, for us, the purpose is helping you build some clarity and confidence in your financial future. We don't just react to market moves, we help you plan through them. From tax deadlines to retirement rules to market volatility, we're here to guide you with practical insights that are grounded in real strategy and a calm hand at the wheel. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay focused, and never stop doing the work that brings you peace and purpose. We'll see you next time. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.